Hello. Today General Hospital will reveal the announcement of the 2025 General Hospital Fan Celebration at Graceland was supposed to be a triumph. A grand return to one of the most iconic venues tied to the legacy of the soap's fandom. Instead, it has turned into a storm of controversy that has consumed social media, fan forums, and even mainstream entertainment outlets. What should have been a joyful moment marking another year of GH's enduring success has been overshadowed by one shocking fact. Steve Burton, Jason Morgan, and Maurice Benard's Sonny Corinthos will not be attending. The news landed like a thunderclap. These are not just two actors in a sprawling cast, they are the very heartbeat of General Hospital. For decades, Jason and Sonny have defined the show's pulse, anchoring its darkest storylines, its most iconic rivalries, and its most emotional relationships. Their bond on screen is legendary, their status as pillars of Port Charles unquestionable. To imagine a fan celebration without them is, for many, unthinkable. Fans voiced outrage almost instantly, flooding Instagram and Twitter with disappointment. "No Jason, no Sonny, no me," one fan bluntly declared. Others expressed heartbreak, saying the absence of Burton and Benard robs the event of its soul. For countless devotees, it felt less like a celebration and more like a glaring reminder of division. What made matters worse were the whispers that followed. Almost as soon as the absence was confirmed, speculation began swirling about what had truly gone wrong. Insiders hinted at deep fractures behind the scenes, claiming that Burton and Benard had clashed bitterly with executive producer Frank Valentini. Sources pointed to months of growing tension, disagreements over story arcs, and even creative control battles. Where once there had been a united front between producer and stars, there was now talk of icy silences and explosive arguments. By the time the Graceland lineup was finalized, the rift had apparently widened so much that reconciliation seemed impossible. For fans, the implications are devastating. The celebration at Graceland is not just another promotional event, it is a symbolic gathering, a yearly reminder that the General Hospital community is bigger than the television screen. A place where decades of loyalty are rewarded with access to the stars they adore. To remove Jason and Sonny from that equation is to remove the heart from the body. The absence doesn't just cast a shadow over the weekend in Memphis, it throws into question the stability of General Hospital's future. If the two most iconic figures of the show are at odds with its producer, what does that mean for upcoming storylines, long-term contracts, and the legacy of a soap opera that has survived for over 6 decades? The tension has now reached a boiling point among viewers. Some longtime fanspeople, who have been watching since the 1960s, have declared they will boycott the event altogether, and willing to pay homage to a version of GH that feels incomplete. Others, torn between disappointment and devotion, still plan to attend but admit the excitement has dulled. The absence has become a symbol of something larger, the fragility of trust between the creators of the show and its most loyal supporters. What was intended to be a glittering celebration of unity has instead become a drama all its own, rivaling any plot twist playing out on screen. Yet even amid the outrage, there is a current of anxious fascination. Fans are desperate to know the full truth. Was this simply a scheduling conflict, as some half-heartedly hope? Or is the drama far darker, a sign of irreparable division between Valentini and two of the show's most powerful actors? Each unanswered question fuels more speculation, more debates, and more unease about where General Hospital might go next. In the end, the irony is undeniable. The 2025 fan celebration is supposed to honor the show's legacy, but already it has become one of the most controversial chapters in that legacy. For now, all eyes are not on the costumes, the karaoke, or even the nurses' ball performance. They are fixed squarely on the empty seats where Steve Burton and Maurice Benard should have been, and on the unanswered question of whether Port Charles itself is beginning to fracture. The 2025 General Hospital Fan Celebration at Graceland was meant to be one of the crown jewels of the year. A weekend where fans and cast could come together to celebrate 6 decades of daytime television history. The announcement of the event, scheduled for October 31st through November 2nd at the Guest House at Graceland in Memphis, sparked an initial wave of excitement. Posters shared by Laura Wright and Chris McKenna lit up Instagram, and ABC's official General Hospital account confirmed what many had been anticipating: 3 days filled with panels, exclusive performances, autograph sessions, and festive gatherings. On paper, it was everything a loyal fan could ask for. Yet, as soon as the lineup was revealed, the news that Steve Burton, Jason Morgan, and Maurice Benard's Sonny Corinthos would not attend struck like lightning, changing the entire narrative of the event. This absence was not simply disappointing, it was seismic. For millions of fans, Jason and Sonny are General Hospital. Their bond has driven some of the show's most gripping storylines, and their chemistry on screen is the kind that defines eras. To remove them from the equation of the fan celebration felt like ripping out the show's very heart. The fallout was immediate and fierce. Social media erupted with outrage, Instagram comments flooded with "No Jason, no Sonny, no me," while Facebook groups filled with longtime viewers swearing they would boycott the event. What was meant to be a joyful reunion instead became a flashpoint of tension between producers and the fan base. Adding fuel to the fire were the rumors swirling behind the scenes. According to whispers within the soap community, Burton and Benard's absence was not due to scheduling conflicts but rather a breakdown in their relationship with executive producer Frank Valentini. Reports of heated disagreements over story direction, frustration with management decisions, and unresolved disputes suggested a rift too deep to paper over. Some insiders described the atmosphere as untenable, with neither actor willing to appear alongside Valentini at a public celebration. If true, this represents more than a scheduling inconvenience. It marks a potential fracture at the very core of GH's creative team, one that could ripple into the show's future. Fans, ever attuned to the drama both on and off screen, have seized on these whispers, speculating not just about the fan event but about whether Jason and Sonny's roles on the show itself may be in jeopardy. Meanwhile, the event's organizers have done everything possible to emphasize the scale and glamour of the weekend. The itinerary is meticulously designed, a Halloween-themed welcome dinner and costume party to set a festive tone, followed by Saturday's mix of panels, cast breakfasts, and the highly anticipated live Nurses Ball performance. Sunday rounds things off with additional discussions and karaoke, giving fans the chance to sing side by side with their favorite stars. The lineup of confirmed attendees is still impressive, featuring Laura Wright, Carly Spencer, Finola Hughes, Anna Devane, Lynn Herring, Lucy Coe, Callie Thibault, Britt Westburn, Donald Turner, Curtis Ashford, Chris McKenna, Jack Brennan, and more. Each ticket guarantees autographs and photos, with premium tiers offering luxury lodging at the AA for Diamond Guest House itself, turning the celebration into a full-fledged immersive experience. But no matter how polished the schedule or how star-studded the cast list, the shadow of Burton and Benard's absence refuses to fade. Longtime fans, some of whom have been following the show since the early 1960s, see their non-appearance as a betrayal. "This feels like the weakest celebration in years," one veteran viewer remarked online, echoing a sentiment shared by many. The sense of community that GH fan events usually foster is being undercut by disappointment and suspicion. The irony is sharp. A festival designed to unite the fandom has instead revealed cracks in both the production team and its audience's loyalty. The controversy is compounded by the steep cost of attendance. Ticket packages ranging from $700 to $2,500 have sparked a separate storm of criticism. Many argue that the price point is prohibitively high, especially given the absence of the show's two most iconic stars. For working-class fans who have kept GH alive for decades, the numbers feel like an exclusionary barrier. Social media is filled with laments from viewers who have watched faithfully since childhood but now find themselves priced out of the very celebration meant to honor their loyalty. Some accuse the producers of prioritizing profit over accessibility, transforming what should be a communal celebration into an elite experience reserved for those with disposable income. To make matters worse, the combination of high ticket prices and missing stars creates a double-edged backlash. Even those willing to pay for the premium packages are questioning whether the event delivers on its promises. Without Burton and Benard, the justification for prices as high as $2,500 feels flimsy to many. Why pay thousands when the legends aren't there? Is a question echoing across fan forums and Twitter threads alike. It is a sentiment that reflects not only disappointment but also a deep erosion of trust between fans and the people behind General Hospital. Still, it would be a mistake to dismiss the allure of the celebration entirely. For many, the chance to meet Laura Wright, Finola Hughes, or Callie Thibault remains a powerful draw. The prospect of singing karaoke with Donald Turner or attending a live Nurses Ball performance is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The glamour of Graceland, the nostalgia of GH, and the intimacy of fan interactions promise experiences that cannot be replicated elsewhere. Thousands are still expected to attend, eager to immerse themselves in the world of Port Charles despite the controversies. But the event will now unfold under an atmosphere of unease, with every cheer tinged by the awareness of who is missing. For the show itself, the stakes could not be higher. The absence of Burton and Bernard from the celebration has already sparked speculation about their long-term futures on GH. Are Jason and Sunny being written into diminished roles? Could ongoing tensions with Valentini eventually drive them off the canvas entirely? These questions weigh heavily on fans, for whom the thought of Port Charles without its two most enduring icons feels unimaginable. The fan celebration, once designed as a testament to GH's unity and longevity, now serves as a reminder of the fragile dynamics holding the soap together. In the end, the 2025 General Hospital fan celebration will likely still be memorable, but perhaps not for the reasons its organizers intended. Instead of being remembered as a glittering tribute to 6 decades of history, it risks being remembered as the year the cracks became too visible to ignore. The empty seats where Steve Burton and Maurice Benard should have been will say more than any panel discussion or karaoke night could. For fans, their absence is not just a scheduling mishap but a symbol of deeper unrest, one that threatens to overshadow both the event and the future of the show itself. The ticket pricing scandal surrounding the 2025 General Hospital fan celebration has become one of the most polarizing and emotionally charged aspects of what should have been a purely joyous occasion. When ABC and the event organizers unveiled the official packages starting at $700 and climbing to a jaw-dropping $2,500 for the 3-day weekend at Graceland, the reaction was instant and ferocious. For many fans, particularly those who have been watching General Hospital faithfully for decades, the numbers were not just high, they were insulting. What was once billed as an intimate thank you to the show's loyal viewers was suddenly framed as an elitist event, accessible only to those with the financial privilege to indulge. The anger is amplified by the history of the fandom itself. General Hospital has always been a soap opera of the people, its storylines of love, betrayal, redemption, and tragedy resonating with viewers across generations. Entire families have bonded over it, grandparents passing down the tradition of watching to their children and grandchildren, fans recording episodes on VHS tapes in the 1980s, streaming faithfully in the 2020s, and attending previous fan events that felt celebratory rather than exclusionary. To these viewers, the ticket announcement struck like a betrayal. "We built this legacy," one fan raged on Facebook, "and now we're being told we don't belong at the party unless we can pay a fortune." What makes the situation even more contentious is that the pricing structure landed at the same moment fans were reeling from the announcement that Steve Burton and Maurice Benard would not attend. For many, Jason Morgan and Sonny Corinthos are the lifeblood of GH. To pay $2,500 for an event that excludes its most iconic figures feels like a cruel joke. On Reddit, one fan wrote, "If you're going to charge me the price of a mortgage payment for a weekend, don't tell me Jason and Sonny aren't even in the building. That's not just disappointing, it's offensive." This sentiment has spread widely, giving the impression that the organizers overpromised and underdelivered before the first guest even checks in at Graceland. Frank Valentini, ever the public face of GH's production machine, has stood firmly behind the event, arguing that the pricing is not only fair but reflects the unparalleled opportunities the weekend provides. The packages include guaranteed autographs, professional photo sessions with each attending star, intimate Q&A panels, entry to the Halloween costume party, and tickets to the live staging of the Nurses Ball, one of the most beloved traditions in soap history. For premium ticket holders, the chance to stay at the A for Diamond Guest House at Graceland is touted as part of the allure, offering fans the luxury of residing inside the event's epicenter. It's more than a fan gathering, Valentini has insisted in interviews. It's a fully immersive experience where you step into the world of Port Charles for 3 days. Yet even this defense feels hollow to those who feel excluded. While it is true that conventions for other fandoms, Comic-Con, Supernatural reunions, and even niche cult TV gatherings often charge high prices, General Hospital carries a unique legacy. Its audience is not built on big-budget spectacle or blockbuster franchises. It thrives on emotional investment and everyday loyalty. For many viewers, this has always been a show for the working class, for everyday people who came home from their jobs, turned on the television, and found themselves transported to Port Charles. To suddenly turn a community-centered soap into what some describe as a country club fan event feels tone-deaf. The sense of intimacy, the belief that GH was a family where all were welcome is in jeopardy. The debate has also exposed a generational divide. Younger fans, accustomed to paying high prices for exclusive experiences like K-pop concerts or Marvel premieres, are somewhat more forgiving, framing the event as a luxury trip rather than a betrayal. They argue that no one is entitled to attend every convention and that premium events cost money. Older fans, however, many of whom have been tuning in since the 1960s and 1970s, see things very differently. For them, this isn't just about the price tag, it's about the principle. They remember smaller, more affordable gatherings where fans and stars mingled freely, where General Hospital honored its supporters with warmth and accessibility. To them, the Graceland event represents a shift away from gratitude toward commodification, where loyalty is only valued if it comes with a credit card attached. Despite the anger, the gravitational pull of GH remains impossible to deny. Thousands of fans are still expected to descend on Memphis, lured by the glamour of Graceland, the promise of intimate time with Laura Wright, Finola Hughes, Kelly Thibault, and the rest of the lineup, and the chance to experience the Nurses' Ball in person. For those who can afford it, the memories will likely be spectacular: karaoke nights with the cast, themed dinners, photo sessions, and laughter echoing through the halls of Elvis Presley's iconic estate. Social media will be flooded with snapshots of fans arm in arm with their favorite stars, and for those in attendance, the price will be justified by the joy of proximity. But beneath the sparkle, a darker narrative will linger. For every smiling fan at Graceland, there will be countless others watching from home, feeling excluded, bitter, and disillusioned. For them, the 2025 fan celebration will not be remembered as a triumphant weekend but as a fracture point in the show's relationship with its audience. The absence of Jason and Sunny will loom large in memory, overshadowing even the brightest moments. The steep ticket prices will be remembered not as the cost of access, but as the price of division. Ultimately, the 2025 General Hospital fan celebration will be a paradox, a glittering success in numbers and spectacle, yet a bruising failure in spirit. It will highlight both the soap's enduring power to captivate and its growing vulnerability to alienate. In the years to come, fans will likely look back at this event not only for the glamour of its Halloween party or the nostalgia of its panels but also as the moment when GH's bond with its community showed cracks too deep to ignore. And in that sense, the most memorable part of the 2025 celebration may not be the karaoke or the Nurses' Ball, but the uncomfortable truth it revealed that even the strongest fan bases can falter when love is tested by absence, controversy, and the high price of admission. The 2025 General Hospital fan celebration at Graceland was supposed to be a glittering love letter to one of television's most enduring daytime dramas. Announced with great fanfare, marketed with glossy posters across Instagram, and positioned as a once-in-a-lifetime chance to celebrate the show's 62-year legacy. The event initially promised everything fans could dream of: 3 days of immersion in the world of Port Charles, October 31st through November 2nd, at Elvis Presley's iconic estate. Stars like Laura Wright, Finola Hughes, Kelly Thibault, Lynn Herring, Chris McKenna, and Donald Turner confirmed their attendance, giving weight to the hype. The itinerary was equally enticing: a Halloween party to launch the weekend, intimate breakfasts and Q&A panels with cast members, the triumphant return of the Nurses' Ball in a live performance format, and karaoke to cap off the festivities. On the surface, it seemed destined to be a triumph. But beneath the polished press releases and celebratory Instagram stories lay revelations that would shatter the illusion of unity. The absence of Steve Burton, Jason Morgan, and Maurice Bernard, Sonny Corinthos, the show's most iconic duo, and the staggering price of admission. These two elements combined to create a storm of controversy, transforming what should have been a jubilant reunion into one of the most divisive events in General Hospital history. The announcement of ticket prices landed like a cold slap across the face of the fandom. Packages began at $700 and soared to an eye-watering $2,500 for premium tiers. For that investment, attendees were promised guaranteed autographs, photo opportunities with each star, entry into panels and parties, and, for the highest tiers, lodging at the AA for Diamond Guest House at Graceland itself. Frank Valentini defended the costs, calling the weekend a fully immersive journey into Port Charles. On paper, the perks were undeniable. Yet for fans who had been watching since the 1960s, who had kept the show alive through Nielsen ratings, fan mail, and word-of-mouth loyalty, the numbers felt like betrayal. Social media exploded with criticism. On Facebook groups, angry posts described the event as a cash grab. One longtime viewer wrote, "We're not Hollywood investors. We're the people who made GH what it is, and now they're telling us we can't celebrate unless we fork over thousands. That's not gratitude. That's exploitation." Another fan commented on Twitter, "A fan celebration shouldn't make us feel like outsiders. We've given decades of loyalty, that should be enough." The backlash quickly spread across Reddit and soap forums. Threads dissected the breakdown of costs, with some fans pointing out that the pricing exceeded that of larger conventions like San Diego Comic-Con, where access spans multiple fandoms and global franchises. Others noted the irony. General Hospital is a show rooted in middle-class storylines, chronicling the struggles of everyday families, yet its fan celebration appeared designed for an elite few. Generational divides deepen the debate. Younger fans, many of whom were accustomed to paying steep prices for K-pop concerts or Marvel premieres, were less scandalized. "It's an exclusive luxury event," one younger fan argued online. "Not everyone can go, and that's fine." Older fans, however, bristled. They remembered past fan events that were affordable and accessible, where ticket costs were reasonable, and where the focus was on gratitude, not exclusivity. To them, this was more than a price tag. It was proof that the show's producers had lost touch with their base. As outrage over the cost spread, the second revelation detonated like a bombshell. Steve Burton and Maurice Benard, the very actors who defined the show's modern era, would not be attending. Jason Morgan and Sonny Corinthos are not just characters, they are pillars of GH's mythology. Their partnership, their conflicts, their loyalties and betrayals have shaped the show for decades. To imagine a fan celebration without them felt absurd, even insulting. Fans reacted with fury. Instagram comments under the official GH posts filled with blunt declarations, "No Jason, no Sonny, no me." On Twitter, hashtags like #BringBackJosensy trended within hours of the lineup announcement. Longtime viewers, some of whom had been tuning in since Luke and Laura's wedding in the early 80s, described the celebration as hollow and soulless. One fan on Reddit lamented, "We saved for months to go, and now the two people we most wanted to see aren't even coming. Why should I bother?" Whispers of backstage conflict quickly surfaced. Industry insiders hinted that Burton and Benard's absence wasn't about scheduling but about fractured relationships with Frank Valentini. Reports spoke of growing creative disagreements, disputes over story direction, and long-simmering frustrations about how the show was being managed. Some sources described the tension as irreparable. If true, the absence of Burton and Benard from Graceland wasn't just about missing stars at a party, it was a warning sign of deeper cracks within the production itself. Together, the ticket controversy and the absence of Burton and Benard created a perfect storm. For some fans, the event became a symbol of exclusion, both financially and emotionally. For others, it was a bitter pill. They still planned to attend, but the excitement was dulled, the sparkle tarnished. And for a sizable group, it was a deal-breaker. Entire threads emerged where fans vowed to boycott, promising instead to watch the chaos unfold online. The disappointment hit especially hard for long-term fans who saw the celebration as a chance to cap off decades of devotion. One woman who had been watching since 1964 shared in a Facebook group that she had dreamed of attending with her daughter and granddaughter, 3 generations of GH fans united at Graceland. But with prices soaring and the absence of Jason and Sonny, she decided against it. "It's not the family event I thought it would be," she wrote, her post going viral among soap fans as an emblem of collective heartbreak. Even as thousands of fans are expected to descend on Memphis, the controversies cast a long shadow. The venue itself, Graceland, was chosen for its historic weight and cultural significance. But as the Halloween party kicks off and the nurse's ball dazzles on stage, the empty space where Jason and Sunny should be will linger like a ghost. The photos shared on Instagram of smiling fans with Laura Wright or Kelly Thibault will undoubtedly spread joy. But side by side with those will be countless posts lamenting the absence of Burton and Bernard, proof of the fracture running beneath the glamour. The ticketing issue, too, will remain unresolved. While those who attend will create priceless memories, those left behind will remember the exclusion, the sense that the show they gave their loyalty to no longer valued accessibility. For some, that wound may never heal. The Graceland event is more than just a celebration, it is a litmus test for General Hospital's relationship with its fans. If Burton and Bernard's absence truly stems from conflicts with Frank Valentini, the show risks alienating its audience not just at fan events but on screen. Viewers are already speculating about diminished roles, potential exits, and the possibility that their favorite characters could fade from the canvas altogether. If those fears prove true, the backlash will not stop at ticket sales. It could erode the show's ratings, threatening its long-term survival. On the other hand, if the event manages to deliver unforgettable experiences despite the controversies, it could reinforce GH's resilience. The soap has survived countless scandals, cast changes, and production shifts over 6 decades. It may weather this storm too, but the scars will remain. Fans will remember 2025 not as the year of joy but as the year of fracture, when the celebration meant to unite instead divided. In the end, the 2025 General Hospital Fan Celebration at Graceland will likely be remembered as a paradox. For those who attend, it will be dazzling, a weekend of laughter, photos, and immersive memories. For those excluded, it will be bitter, a reminder that loyalty no longer guarantees inclusion. And for everyone, it will be defined by absence, the absence of Steve Burton, the absence of Maurice Bernard, and perhaps, most dangerously, the absence of trust. The show will go on. Port Charles will continue to spin its tales of love and betrayal. But in the hearts of fans, the empty seats at Graceland will endure as a symbol of what happens when the bond between a show and its audience built over 6 decades is tested by profit, politics, and silence.